Following one marvellous scene, a project comprised of videos showing YouTubers' appreciation for, well, one marvellous scene featured in an MCU film of their choice, I've decided to do similar. Well, not similar, exactly the same. My chosen scene is featured in Spider-Man Homecoming, a brilliant addition to the MCU that cemented their understanding of the character's spirit that was first suggested during his brief Civil War appearance. Due to the analytical nature of this video, a spoiler warning for Spider-Man Homecoming is necessary. To fully appreciate the scene, its place in the film's context requires attention. Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, see? I told you there'd be spoilers, has recently discovered his enemy is the father of his love interest, an appallingly contrived coincidence, redeemed by the quality plot developments it encourages, including that evident in the scene I will soon discuss. In a previous brilliant scene I almost chose, Birdman, Vulture gradually and logically deciphers the fact that Peter and Spider-Man are one and the same, and offers to spare Spider-Man, providing Spider-Man allows Vulture to continue his endeavours, acknowledging that Spider-Man had saved his daughter. Determined to solidify his status as a hero, Spider-Man refuses Vulture's offer, pursues his foe, and following an ill-fated confrontation, becomes imprisoned under rubble, starved of the gadgetry he had in previous scenes that might have allowed an easy solution. The first streak of brilliance in this scene is how it develops Vulture's already complex character. Firstly, he raises some valid arguments regarding the morals of Peter Parker's hero Iron Man, who, as we know, has a past as an arms dealer, an activity that is comparable to the crimes that Vulture is currently being pursued for. Secondly, in previous scenes, Vulture has been established as someone with some moral values and reason, yet this scene fully shows his willingness to potentially kill a teenage boy, which is pretty unreasonable. These two conflicting traits harmoniously coexist due to the nature of the story, as well as some meticulous screenwriting. Speaking of which, Captain America trapped Spidey under a crate in Civil War. We can't gloss over that. He must have realised he was young from his voice, and I don't think he'd learned about his strength at that point, so how did Cap not know he might have ended up killing a child there? And then he asked Spidey where he's from, like that makes it better. It's okay to endanger a teenager's life as long as you ask them where they're from, is it? Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Wait, what? Also, I've just remembered that in this film, Iron Man actually says that Cap was deliberately restraining himself in that fight with Spider-Man and didn't intend on killing him, because if he wanted to, he could have. So I'll edit all this bit out. Oh no, I forgot to edit it out. What a fool. Anyway, other than the complexity it adds to Vulture's character, this scene rectifies two slight issues I always had with previous Spider-Man incarnations. I always felt like his super strength, as well as his youth, were never weaponized to their full dramatic potential in the other films, like the Raimi ones or the Mark Webb ones, even though they're vital to the character. The fact he's young made him relatable to comic readers and invited serious conflict that humanised him. His super strength, meanwhile, just means that whatever victories he achieves, they always remain plausible. Both of these characteristics are amazingly displayed when he's struggling under the rubble. The frantic gasping and convincing panic in Tom Holland's voice is seriously investing, and is a dramatic reminder to viewers of the character's limitations. In a pretty heart-wrenching moment, he helplessly pleads for assistance. He has powers, but he hasn't become fully accustomed to these yet. After seeing his mask in a nearby puddle, he remembers Iron Man telling him that if he's nothing without a gadget-filled suit, he shouldn't have it, and becomes determined not only to save his life, but to prove his worth as a hero, for perhaps the first time in his own eyes rather than the eyes of his peers. As he chants, "Come on, Spider-Man," to himself, gradually louder through his struggle, he eventually uses his super strength to free himself, appropriately straining as the music amazingly swells. In a single scene, he's lost hope, regained determination, benefited from emotional low points in his recent past. Thoughtful, patient, and deceptively complex cinematic perfection. As Shia LaBeouf's character in the film Hole said after he dug one of his first holes, "Wow, that's deep." Okay, he never said that, but maybe he should have. If he had done, this part of the video might have made sense. I blame Shia LaBeouf. It's the willingness to include dramatic scenes like this, and the capability with which they're conducted in otherwise usually playful superhero films, that have assisted the MCU in becoming the entertainment giant that it is. It's also emotionally rich scenes of this nature that make Spider-Man Homecoming possibly my favourite film in the MCU. The official One Marvelous Scene playlist is in the description, and it's highly recommended. I should point out this is much more specific and more analytical than my usual videos, and the next upload, which will probably also be MCU related, will be a more casual, overarching film review as usual, without spoilers. Thanks for watching. If I don't see you next time, I really hope it's not because Michael Keaton's trapped you under some rubble. He said he'd stop doing that.